Okay, recording has started. Welcome everyone to the May monthly sales training. Today we're going to be talking about RFP season coming up, creating a compelling business case. Where to look for accounts to submit business cases for, that kind of deal. Let me start this slideshow. I sent you all over documents this morning. So you got both the PowerPoints and then some other documents to review that will help you get all of your items together. Let me get rid of these. Okay. There we go. You should be able to see a little easier that way. Okay, so RFP training for Hilton people. They're called CARP forms. We're talking a little bit about L&R forms too, CDM forms that you submit as well through Hilton. Marriott has a similar form if you have some locally negotiated rates that are loaded through GDS as well, they have to submit. And then IHG, of course, has their own little form as well. So, okay. So first thing, where do you go to submit and answer an RFP? RFP, request for proposal, typically starts in May. I've been looking through brand stuff and I personally haven't seen any communication as far as when they're going to open things up to submit for cases for 2022. Have any of you seen anything like in your Now newsletters or anything like that?
No, not really. I've been looking through them.
Yeah, I know last year it was pushed back to like August because of the pandemic. So we'll keep looking for that, but I wanted to get this training in with you all ahead of that. So we're ready to go and have our accounts lined up on what cases we want to submit. So your business case is there for your national accounts. So it's either through OnQ solicitation, with IHG, it's Lanyon, and then Marriott Hotels. It's called MAR RFP, where you go to submit your RFPs once you get invited, as well as your business cases, CARPs, that kind of deal. You can find it in your lobby. So with the process, we're going to talk about where you go to submit. The Wish Walk Ront is typically, now it's just Wish Walk process. That's typically the first thing you have to do, and you'll get communication from your brand on that as well, as far as when it's available to submit those. So step one, you want to evaluate your current accounts, both national and local. What are they producing as far as what you forecasted? Are they in line to meet your requirements that are on your agreements if it's an LNR, or what you were forecasting if it's a CNR? Look at your peak nights. That's always important to make sure you're not displacing anything as far as rate goes. That's going to help you determine what rate to offer as well. Look at the account ADR, if it's increased or decreased, which with this year, I'm sure they've all decreased with the pandemic and us going to a lot of dynamic pricing and our rates not being typically where they are. Length of stay is important as well. Displacement, seasonality. Look at your room types too. I really want to get as a company in a better habit of charging more for our premium room types. So for those corporate travelers, it's going to be your king rooms. So when we go to submit these new RFPs for national accounts and local accounts, try and get a little bit of a higher rate out of your king room types, even if it's $5 or $10. Every little bit's going to help grow your ADR more. Hang on. I'm gonna let some money in. Casey.
Sorry, that's me.
Oh, you're good. No problem. Okay. Oh, one more. Are you switching where you was?
No, it didn't go through. It just gave me an option to join. Okay.
Good now?
Yeah, sorry.
All right, fine. No big deal. I'm just gonna. Can everybody still see if I leave it here and not like in the presentation mode? Does it still look okay on your computers?
Yeah.
Okay. Look at your relationship. How long have you had this account? What kind of relationship do you have with them? What other pieces of business do they give you? They might give you, if you're a full service, a meeting room with beverage. They might give you some groups as well as their transient guests. So that's all important factors to think of too when you're establishing rates and what accounts you want to go after as well. LRA and NLRA, of course, is important, as well as dynamic and static. What are some reports that you guys look at when you're evaluating your accounts? What are some things that you go back to?
Key hotel marketing reports.
Yep, those are good ones. We've all got RevGen now, and RevGen has that account analysis little button in there that you can look at, and that's got all of your accounts. It even gives you like a wish rate in there too, so that will help you guys establish that. And I've noticed RevGen getting a little better as far as forecasting and stuff with all of its algorithms. So that data and that history would be a good resource for you as well. Negotiated account scorecards for you Hilton people, which I talked to Christine. She will get those ran for you guys probably within the next month or so, once we get more specific dates on when we're going to be able to submit these cases and everything. But I've put a little bug in her ear that we'd like her to run those for us. Second step, look at your market. What's going on in your market? Pull your city volume reports. Does everyone know where to get those from your brands? Which I think I've got all Hilton people on here right now.
Yeah.
So I don't think Justin or Corey jumped on. So city volume reports, which I haven't seen new ones yet. They're probably, my instinct tells me they'll go with 2020 volume like they kind of did for this year, since 2019 volume, because 2020 volume was just crazy. So pull those reports. What new supply is coming to your area as well next year? Star already sends out some good analytics as well throughout the year as far as markets go. And then again, is your area growing? What new businesses are coming? What are you seeing as far as news articles and that kind of deal? Third step, know your upcoming year goal. Goal planners, which Christine and I are going to be working on goal planners here in the next couple weeks to give you guys some more specific revenue measurable numbers. So we're going to do them from like the last 6 months of the year. So July through December, we'll have some more specific goals that will roll out to everyone. Tier structure, which I know it's kind of all over the board this year, but I think next year we can get a more specific tier structure based off of volume for our accounts, LNR and CNR. So we've got a good grid to go off of for production and establishing rates. Make sure you've all got access, which I am 99% sure all, 3 of you do, to solicitation management. So shouldn't have to worry about that at this point. And then your wish walk rates that we kind of already talked about. So, and like I said, use RevGen. It's got a really good scorecard in there too. Participate or not participate. So when you're answering RFPs, these are just the standard questions that are in every single RFP, which I'm sure all of you are familiar with. So you've got your seasons, contact, cancel policy, if you're choosing to participate or not. And then there's that standard and upgrade you can do different rates for, which I want everyone to be doing that. Use your kings as an upgraded room type and standard as your queens for these CNRs. And then blackout dates for next year, which I have all of the major citywide ones. I think I sent them out a few months ago, but let me know if you need those as well. It'd be good to put them in your solicitation maintenance, so that way they just automatically pull when you're answering these RFPs, make your life a little easier. Some best practices for negotiating rates. Make sure you're engaging with your clients locally, which I know we've put a big focus on that, just maintaining relationships over this pandemic year and a half now. So just make sure we're still talking to clients about their performance quarterly with your production letters. Get some appointments scheduled with your clients. Discuss their current performance and when they're looking for everything to come back. I know everybody's like, I don't know. And it's a little hard at these times, but hopefully by the end of Q3, they should have a better idea of what they're looking at for next year anyways. Communicate your expectations when you're answering the RFP. Make sure you're prepared with the current agreement, with your year-to-date production, and even show them the reports that you use for data. Give them some insight. And some additional items to consider prior to meeting with your clients. Has their production changed since last year, which it all has with the pandemic? Maybe compare them to 2019. Market conditions. Is it a new or an existing account? What other business do you get from this account? Like we talked about previously, group, catering, that kind of deal. Dynamic versus static rate. I would still encourage you to try and get especially your L&Rs to go to a dynamic rate. Continue that for 2022. And then think about their length of stay, seasonality, peak travel months, your peak months, like especially for you on the north side, your June, July, your hot group dates. Think about that as well. These are just the common questions that are on every single RFP through Hilton that you get. I'm not going to read all these over to you guys. And then some of them have custom questions as well on the RFPs. So you can look at those ahead of time when they give you that document when you first go into this solicitation. And there's a tab that has the custom questions so you can get prepared with those before you go in to answer the RFP. Don't wait till the last day either to answer your RFPs. Try and make them a priority just like you do your meeting broker leads, because they got to be answered within 4 hours. There is it's called a CARP map, minimum account requirements or something like that. But it lists what every account requires in order to be accepted into their preferred travel program. So as you're going through accounts and determining your top 5 to 10 that you want to focus on and submit CARPs or business cases qualifiers for, make sure you can meet their requirements, because otherwise you're just wasting your time and theirs, and they're not going to send you a bid or give you an RFP if you can't meet their minimum requirements. So that's found in the lobby as well. The BTS page has lots of resources. Let me know if you need assistance on pulling those. I have them from last year that I can send over, but like I said, I haven't seen any updated information or communication from the brand yet when this RFP season is going to start and we can start submitting for 22. So make sure you look at that. You want to make sure you've got a local contact name, their number, email, information. The rate that you submit when you submit a CARP is the rate that if you end up getting a bid for, you have to go with that rate as well. So keep that in mind. Competition you need to know. So how far is your hotel to the local office? And then how far are your competing hotels to the local office as well? And what rates are they paying? So we've got lots of Agency 360 data. We've got the client IDs to shop your competition online and find rates for the accounts that you want to target. So make sure you do your diligence and research and get all that information gathered before you go to submit a CARP. And then the one thing that almost everyone struggles with, especially myself, is creating that little compelling business case, little paragraph that you have to put into each one as well. So my hotel is unique or compatible with this client because And then I sent over that unique features Word document. It is this one. So I'm gonna give you guys, so we have some interactiveness on this training, 5 minutes, 3 to 5 minutes to fill out a few of your unique features. What sets you apart from your competition? Why would these accounts choose to stay with you over your competition? So I'm going to give you all 3 minutes to just jot down a few, and we've already had the trainings on the features and benefits, so this shouldn't take you too long to come up with. You might have already filled this out actually too. So, but 3 minutes, fill out some of these, and then we'll share some unique features with each other. Okay. Does anybody have a unique feature they'd like to share?
I'll share.
Thank you, Blake. What you got?
We are, we are located off of a side street, but visible from the highway. It's convenient to access. Well, the benefit of that is it's convenient to access, but quiet and for a restful and peaceful stay.
It is quiet over there. Good point.
Yeah, that's one of our biggest selling things that I've got is that you can see us from the road, but you can't hear the road.
Right, right. What about your $5 million renovation?
I've got that. I did that one as well, but yeah, I did that the last time. It's a year old $5 million renovation. I wrote it down as well, but I went with that one for my example.
Good deal. Thank you. Katie or Casey, you want to share one?
Yeah, I wrote. We have direct access to our morning trail from our backyard, so you can get outside and do a nice walk or run for pleasure or for fitness.
Yes, that is very nice that you guys have that. You need to get some bikes over there. You can
I contacted the city of Carmel about bikes for the because they're redoing the city bikes, so we'll see if we can get some bikes over here too.
That's cool. When I stayed at the embassy down in Sarasota last week, they added bikes that you can rent for like they were cute. They were new bikes, had a little basket with the embassy logo and stuff on it, and it was really cheap. It was like $7 for the day or something that you could rent it out, or like $4 for 4 hours, something like that. So it's an idea, a little something to showcase at some of our properties, especially Westfield being right there off the Monon Trail. Even at the airport properties, they have some trails and stuff around them too. A little something extra for our guests. Well, awesome. Well, thank you both for sharing. It's not working. There it goes. There it goes. So here's an example of a business case. I'm not going to read it to you. You all can read it. You have the presentation as well. And then I just put a couple screenshots up here of the actual CARP submission pages with Hilton. You guys know what they look like, but I'm pretty sure you've all done one now, so you're aware. And then the LNR form, the GDM form that we have to fill out for any new LNRs, and then when you change rates on your existing ones as well. And the last part is if they're loaded through GDS, you got to fill out that extra information for them. And then lastly, growing your CNR, LNR business. One thing I would like to see you all do, look at your past accounts, and I'm talking past like back to 2016. What accounts produced for you then that aren't now? What business have we turned away in years past that we might be open to taking now? That's going to be a plethora. Yeah, group, LNR, CNR. I mean, that's going to be a plethora of prospecting for you guys. And I really think you'll find some business out of that. Maybe you turn that into one of your Q3 plans and actions to really dive into years past and see what are we missing out on that we've had before. Somebody have a question or comment? Okay. So there's that, and then just some notes on here to grow your CNR and LNR business. Like I said, I'm not going to read these off to you guys. Y'all can review them at your leisure. Any questions on the overall CARP, LNR, CNR submission portion of this program? Okay.
No, not right now.
Right. Get rid of that. And then we'll look at this one. So, creating a compelling business case. Switch pans here. Okay. So we kind of talked about what reports you can look at to determine your target accounts for your CARPs, business cases, qualifiers, what to call them. So here's a few more ideas. Agency 360, which I know everyone's been looking into that pretty regularly, which is great to see your findings and find those targets. Production reports, so production analysis reports, your history report out of your front desk. Look at, I would say the first place and the easiest place for you all to look is in your solicitation management at previously declined or non-participated and squatting acceptances at RFPs in years past. And when you go into the lobby, I think it's under reports, you can pull a report that will only pull those specific types of RFPs, so you can get a pretty quick list of accounts that you've either been declined to, you've said non-participate, or you got squatting status for. If you need assistance on finding how to pull that, just give me a shout and I'll run over it with you. City volume reports we talked about as well. And then making sure you review the CARP maps before you finalize your list. And target 5 to 10 guys, no more than that. Some of the brands limit you, like I think IHG only lets them do 5 now. I know with Hilton, they've opened it up a lot more. It used to be 12, but now I don't believe there's a limit. But you want quality over quantity. I mean, you want to have really good business cases. So only submit ones that you've got all your data and information for, and you've got a good chance at winning a bid. And then we talked about the negotiating scorecard as well. That'll have Christine run for everyone. And then that RevGen account analysis tab, and then your key hotel marketing reports too. Okay. So target accounts. Let's talk about these. So again, like I said, 5 to 10 accounts. Which ones are most likely to have volume for your hotel? Are they in your area? Are they staying at your competition? Which ones are going to be most interested in working with your hotel? Why is your hotel better than where they're currently staying? Where you can make sure it's an account, like I said, you can meet their mandatory requirements according to their client profile and the cart map. And on that cart map as well, it tells you when their actual like RFP gets released. It's usually about 6 to 8 weeks. So you want to make sure you get that cart submitted prior to that coming out. So what kind of information should you include in your business case?
How
Katie.
close you are to them.
Location, yep, that's a good one. Distance.
Yeah, amenities.
No,
That
when
all
you
goes
say
through.
amenities, you don't want to include like just general things. You want to include those value-added amenities.
Yeah. Well, a lot of the stuff pulls through from Hilton directly, but I'm talking about like, the other stuff.
Keep the word tiny in mind. Their interest, not yours. So what is in it for the client and for the company? Good little acronym to remember. So some other things, details on the local client offices. Make sure you've got a relationship established with that local office. You have a contact. I know their information because I do believe it asks for like their email and phone number in the CARP form as well, and how far it is from your hotel. You've got another competition where it's currently at. You need to know how many rooms they have, which you'll all be able to find that off of your product knowledge. And then the distance from the competing hotel that we talked about to the office as well. And then as far as when you list because it's 3 competitors you have to list. If you're a Hilton, do not list another Hilton property. You want to make sure you're listing another Marriott, an IHG, a Country Inn & Suites or Choice brand, whatever it may be, but don't list another Hilton as your competitor. And if you're Marriott, don't list another Marriott. IHG, don't list another IHG. Question, kid? Comment? Okay. Think about why the customer would want to stay at your hotel. You know, what sets us apart? What are our unique selling positions, our unique features, which we just kind of talked about that. So. Are there more people in here? Did someone decide to join us? Oh, there's Justin. There he is. Hi, Justin.
Hey.
Thanks for joining. I am recording, so I'll send it out so you'll be able to see the whole thing. But we are just talking about items to include in your business cases qualifiers because RFP season will be coming up just to kind of get you up to speed. Okay. So now you want to build your case with information. What's new? Information on previous production, if relevant. So if it's an account that you've had before, or if they've been staying at your hotel, say you're not preferred, but they're booking under like a corporate gold or a family wide kind of way to book, then, you know, include that production as well. That's going to help your case. Sell your brand. What do you offer? I would especially mention whatever your branded cleanliness program is, as well as our Shock It Shine. That sets you apart and above other hotels. Do you have shared values? How does Shock It and your brand, Hilton IHG, align with your client? Have you researched their website and seen what their values and mission statement are? That's a good thing to reference in your business case as well. For some overachievers, you can go above and beyond and even like include some video links if you got a virtual tour, the cleanliness videos that we did back when the pandemic hit. And let me know if you guys don't have those. I can get those over to you. We did those awesome holiday videos as well. Include a map. I've even got some kind of like PowerPoint template flyers that are editable. So you can go in and make them specific to your client, and you can attach those when you are submitting your business cases. If you really want to go above and beyond. Images are great, but you can put those on those PowerPoint templates that I was talking about, as well as your unique selling points. Include some customer testimonials. Look at your TripAdvisor reviews. Look at your Google reviews, that kind of deal. What are people, guests that are staying with you saying about your hotel, why they like it so much? Again, the rate, you have to put a rate in your business case, and that is the rate that you have to stick to if you end up getting a bid. So keep that in mind as well. The more research and focus that you guys apply to this, the more impactful and the higher chance of getting an actual bid and getting accepted as a preferred hotel you're going to have. So research is key here. So what are some things that you think you should not include in your business case?
Trash
We kind of
talk.
talked about one. What was that, Katie?
So don't be trash talking about your competition.
Yeah, exactly. Sell against them in a good way, which we've gone over that with our sales training, our sales process training. That's a good one. And we kind of talked about one earlier. You don't want to include like just general amenities that you have, you know, things that are listed like straight on your website, your typical hotel brochure that every branded Hampton has, you know, your hot breakfast and that kind of deal. Anybody have anything else you should not include? Okay. So there it is, standard amenities. You don't want to call the client or the travel agency as well for like the information that you need to submit these cases. You should work the local contacts for that information. Talk to your in-house guests. They're great resources and usually give you a plethora of knowledge and might even be able to direct you to the right procurement or travel person for the company. Excuse me. And then just make sure you're thoroughly reading each question before you respond. Make sure you catch any spelling, grammar opportunities, proofread. We don't want to sound like we don't know what the hell we're talking about. So just proofread and spell check, please. And then some other tips. Facts. Items that don't appear in your brochure, you know. Your local office is only 2 blocks from my hotel. You might some value add-on, give them the upgraded internet complimentary. So that's a value of typically $5 to $7, depending on your brand, I think, for that upgraded internet. If you offer transportation to their local office, I know some of the airport hotels, they're doing some transportation to some training centers for flight attendants and pilots and whatnot. So that's an example there. So we not only do shuttle service to and from your facility, we also do it from the airport. And then their current, you know, selling against competition, your current preferred hotel doesn't. If you got a restaurant on site, that's also a good selling point as well. I used the example here, the AC that we're opening out in Chesterfield. We share a parking lot with Ruth's Chris. So I'm sure we'll have some sort of discount in place, or they're going to deliver to the hotel as well. So what partnerships do you guys have with local restaurants by you? I know we've got a few established where you like show your key card, you get like 10% off your meal. Mention that kind of deal. I know one of the hotels was working on a package for a client that included like a gift card with it, like a DoorDash gift card when they stayed with us. So things like that. Think outside the box. What do we do that sets us apart? And lastly, I've got a bunch, and when I say a bunch, I mean a bunch of examples on these last few slides of some business cases. These first ones here are for like specific reasons for travel. So like a project, we got an account that's got a new office opening. Some other ones here. You're the best location. Say you've got construction. There's construction going on at a competing hotel or something. It's going to take them longer to get there than it would to yours. You're more convenient, kind of what Blake was talking about earlier. That value add. Oh, look, I didn't spell check myself. Values at. So there's that Wi-Fi value add on there again as well. Got a new store opening, conversion, new hotel like the AC. We'll be doing lots of those. And then the last few, these are some more examples for you guys to review, look at, utilize, edit for when you're determining your accounts. So to recap, research. Use those sources that we talked about in the beginning to kind of narrow down, like I said, your 5 to 10 accounts. And then as you're going through those, you'll see, you know, what data you have, what you're missing, what else you need to get. Is it going to be a strong business case? Like I said, make sure it's very strong and you can meet requirements in order to be a preferred hotel. Otherwise, you're just wasting your time. I will keep on the lookout for communication from the brands as far as when RFP season and CARPS qualifiers are going to be opened. Usually the first step, like I said, is the wish walk process. So I haven't seen anything yet, but I'll keep looking out for that. And then you as well, if you all see anything before I do, please let me know so we can get some more specific dates in mind. But I figured May was a good time to do this training and review of the qualifiers and RFP season with it coming up soon. You guys have any questions, comments? No? Okay. Well, we'll talk a little bit more in specifics next week. I will be at your all's meetings. They're going to be mainly sales focused, so come with any issues, questions that you're having to that meeting next week with me, just your regularly scheduled ones. And then, as always, reach out to me if there's anything I can do to help.
Okay,
Sounds good.
All right. I appreciate y'all. Have a wonderful day.
Sounds good.
Thank
Talk to
you.
you later.
Thanks.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.